Welcome, Bulldog fans, to the Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. As always, my name is Cody Mumal. Glad to be with you. Coach, it's a little chilly out here. Yeah. We started this, it was nice and warm back in September, but here we are in November, what you call POTS. We get to practice on Thanksgiving. It's amazing. Hey, we're going to recap the final score of Wilson Memorial LCA 22-3. Great football game. Second round win, headed to the Region 3C Championship this Friday. Right. Finally don't have to travel an hour and a half, 2 hours to go play. We're going to have the Bulldog of the Week. Excited to introduce you to a guy maybe that you haven't met yet, unless you like a little baseball. Yeah. And then the Maddox Power Play. We're going to get some insights from you on the game that was and the game that is to come. And let's just kind of jump in. I'm really excited to talk about this game. I was absolutely intrigued to go to see Wilson Memorial, and it's been kind of fun to go to some towns that I haven't been to before. I've gotten to eat some really good food and meet some good people. Green Hornets of Wilson, they were ready for us to come. Unique place and a unique offense. Maybe some people that went haven't seen the wing T formation. I want to go inside the first half. 5 total possessions. There technically was 6 because they got the ball right before the halftime buzzer, but 5 total possessions in that first half. And Wilson has the ball for nearly 16 total minutes of that, but one drive that took up 12 clock minutes. What does a half do like that to your rhythm? I think of it like in basketball. You see in basketball, you got some teams that just like to run, and other teams that like to slow it down. They clearly, with what they run, they like to control the clock. But that's obviously what they were wanting to do. What does that do to your rhythm? And how did you keep the guys locked in for that continual pounding?
Well, going into the game, there were several keys to victory, so to speak, that we talked to our guys. We had to make them work for any points that they might get. So what does that look like? Well, you got to eliminate the explosive plays. We talk about that all the time, that we've got to win the explosive battle. We got to get more than they do. And so in order to keep the explosives to a minimum and to 0, hopefully, if they go 3 yards and 4 yards and 2 yards and 5 yards and you make them run 20 plays, in high school football, there's a great chance that a 16-year-old boy is going to jump off sides or he's going to fumble the ball or something like that. So if you make them work 20 plays and they get all the way into the red zone and then score or kick a field goal like Wilson did on their first play, which our defense stiffened and stopped them and forced only a field goal after a 20-play drive, we still did our job. We didn't allow any explosives. We only gave up 3 points, and then we got the ball back, and then we've got to now go to work ourselves.
Which very clearly puts a premium on the time that you have the ball.
No doubt.
Because that game becomes very short. Alexis and some of them came over and said, "Are they doing a running clock?" Right. And I said, "No, why?" This is the shortest first quarter I've ever seen. And if you've never seen that type of play, because really the wing T is built for that. Like if you get 3 or 4 yards per run, that you're eventually going to get there, because on third down you're gonna be hitting that first down, which they did a good job. But I do kind of want to talk about when we got down into that. The red zone. They drove down. We had a great drive, but didn't quit. We just kind of stalled there and gave the ball back over to them. So they start driving one way. The quarter ends and they finish the drive going back the other way. But they did get down into the red zone, and then the guys bowed up and really, because they were really close to making that touchdown. You talked about for them, if you hold them 4 yards at a time, eventually they're going to make a mistake.
Right.
But we run that risk too.
No doubt.
Not only of making a mistake, but the frustration level of they got another first down. Yeah. They got another first down. When you were watching the defense, did you guys have to? What happened there that finally they they were able to make those stops.
Yeah, well, once you get into the low red zone, which is closer to the goal line,
Right.
space becomes tighter, you know. And so the things that they were doing, although it was just power football, it just got a little bit tighter. So our bodies get a little bit closer to them. And, you know, where our safeties might have to come from 8 or 10 yards away to get involved, they're now only 4 or 5 yards away. So, you know, it makes it a little bit more close contact that you can, you know, keep a 4-yard gain to a 2-yard gain. And in essence, like you said, we bowed up on a 4th down or a 3rd down, and then they had to make a decision on 4th down whether to go for it or whether to get points, and then they just wanted to get points.
Right, because if I remember, we kept it ended up being like a 4th and long. It was like 4th and 5, 4th and 6, something like that. Rather, because I think if it's 4th and 2, they're running the numbers that they can get that 2 yards. So second half is a little bit of a different story. Mm-hmm. They're still doing the same thing, and they did have one extremely long drive, but they don't come away with any points anymore. And so you see kind of a snowball effect a little bit. You know, we were able to score. We go into half 7-3, come out, and now we're starting to get some negative plays on them.
Right.
What's the locker room like? Like I'm curious. You go in. I feel like the guys were doing a lot of what they were supposed to. I'm sure that there were things you saw were being missed. But what was your communication? What was your coach's communication to the boys in the halftime?
Well, in a 15-minute halftime, like they have up north in the last 2 games, like we have a 20-minute halftime here. They had 15, and it goes like that. So really wasn't time for us to have a full team meeting. So we'll get together for a couple minutes real quick. I'll make an overview statement of what we saw in the first half and things we got to do better. Then I'll break up with the offensive coaches, and Coach Meeks will take the defensive coaches, and we get right into making adjustments, things that need to do better, change, whatever the case may be. Coach Meeks did a great job of doing a little tweak with our safety, Jacob Parzial, getting him more involved up along the line of scrimmage. And I mean, just that one little tweak was enough to create a little bit of uncertainty on their side. And then, you know, as you said, once we got the momentum a little bit and got up on them, it got them a little bit uncomfortable. They really couldn't, you know, use the clock like they wanted. They started having to throw the ball a little bit to catch up. And then we can now get back into another type of defense where we can bring pressure and cover. And then we ended up getting 2 interceptions there in the second half that really gave us the ball and allowed us to get a couple more scores to make it a little bit more of a comfortable lead.
Yeah, it definitely really put them in a position they're not comfortable in.
Right.
And I think it's worth saying, as much as that is an offense that chews up clock and it's meant to do that, it's not necessarily always, at least for them, a low-scoring thing. 4 out of the last 6 games, they were over 40 points.
That's right.
And they scored 50 points just like 4 weeks ago. Right. So they're used to scoring a lot of points and holding teams to like 1 touchdown or nothing.
Yeah.
And so for us to come away from there, a 10-1 team, well coached, and to come away with 22-3 win in the second round of the playoffs. We're
so proud of the guys. I mean, round 1 against Broadway, they also were a high-powered offense that we kept them to 12 points, and then Wilson the other. You know, Broadway was the number 3 seed. We're 6. They were 3. Wilson was number 2. And now we're playing number 1. So if we've gone through 3, 2, and 1, and so again, just really proud of the boys for fighting and going on the road and uncertainty and everything that goes along with it. I mean, guys are really doing well.
Couple things, and then we'll shift away from this game. There's just so much you could talk about having been up there, and we talked a little bit about this with Broadway. But Silas and Mason stepping in and not just filling a role, but leading. I mean, they are carrying the way. I think Mason got over 100 yards this game, and Silas got 2 touchdowns, and not easy ones at all. There's one where Silas going this way and cuts back across, and great thing that are at this moment in time where we're needing to lean on somebody other than Jaden.
Right.
It's neat to have guys that are at their age carrying the load.
Yeah, two sophomores. I mean, obviously they're going to be very, very good players. They're good players now, so the future looks bright. In the backfield. Jaden keeps plugging along and being a warrior for us. He's very key to us on defense as well. Over the course of 13 weeks of football, running back will get banged up a little bit, and so to be able to have the young bucks back, because they both of them have been out for 3 or 4 weeks of their own, so to get them back with fresh legs and a little bit of energy, fresh energy coming back, they've really provided something for us.
Yeah, it was fun to watch Jaden on defense on film. Just flying to the ball and just absolutely using his whole body. But again, providing the final interception to really put us in position to once we go up 22-3, as proficient as their offense can be, it's not built to come back in a couple minutes. So that was pretty great. Hey, I heard a couple of the boys. I've heard it said on the news, in podcasts. This group in this playoffs has proven to be battle tested. Mm-hmm. How does that, as we kind of transition, and we're gonna do a couple things, but knowing your team, having watched your team at Broadway and now here at Wilson, what does it mean to be battle tested?
Yeah. Well, our theme verse this year out of Nehemiah is being built for this. So battle tested is maybe another way of saying built for this, but for us to go on the road and 5 hours away and play nationally ranked powerhouse right out of the gate, to go over to Jefferson Forest in a very intense environment and be able to beat them in their house. To go to City Stadium just a couple weeks ago and play Heritage and woulda, coulda, shoulda. They won 35-32. 33, whatever it was. I mean, it was, close game. We've played our share of tough competition in hostile environments, and so now to go to the third-ranked team up in Broadway in a hostile environment, and then now the second ranked team up in Wilson, and so our guys have we've withstood the pressures of the game, and we're ready for this next opportunity. And we've played these guys; they know us, we know them, and it's another opportunity to we've been in the last 6 years, we've been in the Region 3C finals 6 times, and so it's for our program, it's a great accomplishment. And faces change, people come, people go, young kids move up, and we keep coming, and so when you say the battle tested aspect to it, I really think it's a testament to our program that we just keep putting out teams that are going to compete at a very high level.
Yeah. Hey, before we switch, I do want to talk about Heritage. I do want to talk about this incredible game that we got here in Lynchburg this week. Last thing that we've got as far as last week is our Maddox Power Play of the Week. We're going to take you there, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk Heritage LCA football. Maddox Power Play of the Week coming next.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started.
Early in the game, Wilson Memorial came out determined to impose their identity. Their wing tee attack chipped away at the Bulldogs. 3 yards, 4 yards, one snap at a time, methodical and punishing. For more than 12 minutes, they marched on a 20-play drive that pushed deep into the red zone. Facing 3rd and 5 from the 5, the Green Hornets tried to strike first. The quarterback pulled from under center, rolled right, looking to throw, then tucked the ball as the Bulldog defensive line closed in. But the defense stood firm. They swallowed up the run and allowed no gain, forcing a field goal instead of a touchdown. From that moment on, the Bulldogs never broke. They held Wilson Memorial scoreless the rest of the night and sealed a second-round playoff win, punching their ticket to the Region 3C championship.
That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
And that was your Maddox Power Play of the Week. Really, if you're going to, you can't really put it on one. It's the entire defense. We've talked that team was used to scoring 40 points, right. And you were saying they were doing exactly what they were built to do. Right. 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, and our guys didn't quit. Right. And to have a 4-down stand with the goal line, like the goalposts were shadowing on them. They're a little. Right. They're a little bit,
yeah, a little,
but the shadow was on them, and they held up. That was incredible.
Yeah, and really it set the stage for the duration of the game. They only scored 3 points the rest of the game. Our defense had great confidence after shutting them down, I really think the adjustments at halftime that we already talked about, that Coach Meeks broke the rock this week. So that's
awesome.
Very, very rare that a coach will do that, but he did a great job coaching up our defense.
I want to shift a little bit to the Heritage game this week. It's going to be a completely different environment than we faced. We've had relatively nice weather.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be bad weather.
Nippy.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Though I think the high on Friday is going to be 40, so that's going to play into it a little bit. But let's kind of talk about this week. We're deep into November, and you put it out. I heard you on the field talking about the practice on Thanksgiving. Right after the win is there's a cost this week that I don't know if it plays into it, but it impacts family time,
right.
The ability to go places, and so that plays a little bit into your mental faculties. School's out this week, and so there's a lot of things going on. Tell me about the mentality of the week leading up to this Heritage game.
Well, I mean, practicing on Thanksgiving means that something real special is going on, So 7 years ago, this is our 10th year in the VHSL. 7 years ago, we kind of gave that team a challenge that this is the team that's going to be the first to practice on Thanksgiving. And then sure enough, that happened. And now 6 years later, we've practiced on Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving for 6 years. And so it's become a tradition. It's a special thing for our program because a lot of our former players that are off in college and in some ways graduated and out in life now, we kind of invite to come back and just kind of be around the guys and because a lot of them are home on Thanksgiving. So it's been a great celebration of the history of our program. But it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be one of 8 teams in the state right now. Final 2 in 4 different regions. We're final 2 in our region, but there's only 8 teams left still playing football, and so it's a great honor.
We're not going to play some team. We go to play Broadway, and we've played Broadway before, but it's still different to go up there and play Wilson. That was, we're learning how they play all these things. There's a different thing. We're playing Heritage. They know us, we know them. There is a lot of electricity in going into this game. How do you prepare for this? Going into this, we just saw them a few weeks ago. What do you, as coaches, how do you plan for this? Is it just more of who we are, or is there an element of we need to show a little bit different so that they don't key on us right away?
I don't know that we're going to make any drastic changes, but when you play a team one time and then come back and play them again, there's things that you learn from that first game that if you would have tweaked this or contained here or called a blitz here, could have changed the outcome. So we'll certainly learn from the first time we played them and make a couple adjustments. But I don't know that there's going to be any drastic change of what we do per se. And I would expect the same from them. It's just going to be who's going to fight for 48 minutes. And, I mean, the last time we played them came down to the last 30 seconds. We kicked an onside kick and hoping to try to get it back. So, I mean, I would expect this one to go down to the wire as well.
Yeah, their game to claim the number one. They played Jefferson Forest, and so they've experienced that battle test as well. And so we got two teams that are sharpened weapons, man. They're ready to come at one another. There's a lot of excitement with the guys. I've told you a couple of guys are in our youth group, and they're excited about the possibility of LCA coming to play again, to have that once again. What do you expect as far as I'm just curious? It's a post-Thanksgiving weekend. Do you think that this is something that you're going to see a lot of people from Lynchburg area come out and watch?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a big Lynchburg crowd. Because we're really the only game in town. JF I think is still playing. I don't know if they're hosting or traveling.
They played Hanley this week. I think they're traveling.
So I would think that with our game, maybe Gretna might still be alive as well, but at least Lynchburg proper, I would think that just your typical high school football fan is going to want to come and see this game. And many people would have enjoyed that first time we played. And so now they're saying, we missed that 35-33 game. Let's go see, the second round, and so I would hope there'll be a nice crowd.
Yeah. I'm thinking that you've already eaten your turkey, right? Mm-hmm. You got your Black Friday shopping done. Why not come and hang out and just watch some good football? Right. I was just looking. JF is at GW in Danville, so the only show in town, and it's going to be a great one for sure. As you look, we talked about Silas and Mason being a big part. We're going into the third week of the playoffs. Some of the other guys that have stepped in, that saying their name might be an appropriate thing of how they've impacted this late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we shared it in a previous podcast that once the JV season was over, we brought a couple guys up and started to rotate them in a little bit. I mean, we have a freshman playing outside linebacker now and some tight end, Jojo Deo.
Oh yeah.
James Deo, who was a really good player for us here the last couple of years, now playing at Navy, his little brother.
Yeah.
And I don't tell James this, but JoJo just may be a better Deo than James was. And James was very, very good. And so he's only a freshman, and he's starting to get some varsity playing time right now. Our offensive line has stayed intact throughout every game we've played, and they're gelling and really playing very well together. And then, the receiving core has, with JB and with Henry and Hayden and Nate Davis is back. He had a shoulder injury a couple of weeks ago. So that gives you a little bit more. So we're certainly a running team, but when you have, four receivers that can mix in, it can give you another dimension as well. So, yeah, I mean, right now, it's survive and advance, and you need all hands on deck, and you just never know who's going to be the one that actually makes the play that swings the game one way or the other, and just got to keep playing them all very hard, as hard as you can, and turn the page when it doesn't go well, and then, kind of capitalize on things that do go well.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, before we get out of here, we'll kind of do a sign-off here in just a minute. We're going to do the Oshbein Law Bulldog of the Week, somebody that has just shown a lot, but I'm not going to tell you who it is because it is a great interview. But like I said, you got to love baseball. And if you love Bulldogs baseball, you're going to know this guy. Let's check out the Bulldog of the Week. All right, Bulldog fans. It is time for the Osterbine Law Bulldog of the Week, and we've got none other than Ty Doan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Championship football. It's cold out here. You're wearing shorts. And
Yeah.
You cold yet, or you're still hot from all the running?
It's a little chilly, but I was running a little bit. Got the muscles all warm. I feel pretty good now. But
Nice. Nice. Ty, you're a senior this year, and we're pursuing another championship. But this is your first year. Is this your first year ever playing football, or just first year in a while?
This is my first year ever playing football.
First year ever playing football, and you just decide senior year, hey, I want to go out and play. I want to just go out and play football.
Yeah, I was just like over the years, a lot of coaches, like football coaches from other teams, other schools, just like told me like, why don't you play football? And one of the things is just like I was always playing baseball year round. I just never had a passion for football until I actually came out. I was like, senior year, might as well like give something to the program, and that's exactly what I did.
Nice. Now, initially, I mean, being a part of a football locker room is a very unique thing. Every baseball locker room, same thing. It's just a unique culture.
Yeah.
So jumping in at that, a lot of these guys have been doing football since they were middle school. Some of them even earlier than that. So there's a language that's spoken. The way that you interact in the locker room. How is that getting used to being part of the brotherhood that is in this football locker room?
Well, luckily, both coaches and players were very welcoming to the locker room and just the football team in general. I think most of them already knew, like, I'd never played football in my life. And so, like, throughout this whole year, like, they've encouraged me to keep doing better, and they've continued to push me even when I didn't want to be pushed. So I'm very thankful for this football team.
Being a part of a baseball team, what position you play in baseball?
First base and third base.
Nice. Being part of a baseball team and the mechanics of baseball and the discipline that you learn in that, is there anything that you see either that baseball has helped you in this or that you're sitting here going, man, I'm glad I played this because it's going to help me in baseball?
Yeah, so baseball, there's always like signs that were given from the coaches and so that, and I kind of like could pick up on that in football, and they're saying plays, just like quick knowing what to do in certain situations. So that's also helped, and just willing to work with other players and not doing it by yourself, but you gotta work with a team like for like tank blocks and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Coach, you got a guy like Ty, senior year, says, hey, I want to come out and play some football. What's that like for the program to have a guy that really has had no football experience come out? What is that? How do you help a guy like that get plugged in?
Well, I mean, when Ty first told me that he was contemplating coming out, in the back of your mind, you say, okay, I'll see if that really happens, because I stand out in the hallway in between periods, and I see him every day multiple times. And when he said it, I hope he does, but I just don't know. So.
All right, in case you didn't know, we had catastrophe here. Lights went everywhere. Windstorm, wind gusts, actually light breeze blew over light. So, Coach, you're saying you're out in the hall.
Yeah. So Ty came to me, mid-year last year and said that he was contemplating coming out for football, and I was very excited to hear that. I mean, I have always, tried to, get our football guys to play other sports,
right.
And then I try to, the best I can influence guys that play other sports to come out for football. I think it's just good for the athletic program when you have your athletes playing multiple sports. And when a guy like Ty takes up that opportunity and that challenge, I think it benefits everybody when you get an athlete out. So, and now knowing Ty and really getting to know him and just seeing how he has progressed from the first week to now 12.
2 catastrophes. Coach had great things to say. In fact, he solved the world's problems all at once, but it was lost because of that. Coach, you're talking about how it's just great for them to play multiple sports for the program, but also for these guys.
No doubt.
I mean, that's, for them to get experience in different.
The thing that I've been so impressed with Ty is from the very beginning. I mean, he really seemed to enjoy it. You talked about the brotherhood. I mean, he really wanted to be a part of the team. He sits in our team meetings and he takes notes and he's really trying to learn the game and contribute in any way he can. I mean, he's played, multiple games this year. And so, I've really enjoyed having him, and I would hope that he would say he really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, Ty, it's been going deep into November, you're not only joining a football team, but you're joining a football team that is playing a very, very long schedule. There's a lot of teams in the area that are not playing football anymore. Yeah. And you come in your first year, you're playing deep into November. Overall, first year ever playing football, have you enjoyed your experience?
I 100% enjoyed my experience. I don't think anything beats a Friday Night Lights game. No matter how many baseball games you go to, and no matter how many state championship baseball games you go to, Friday Night Lights is just something that I feel like most teenagers need to experience in their life.
Yeah, I agree. Baseball is one of my favorite sports. I played baseball, got to play baseball for LCA, and I would say it's probably overall my favorite sport, but there's nothing that comes close to being under the lights. I guess the final thing, faith is a huge aspect of LCA football. Between being at a Christian school, but really what goes on in the locker room, how the coaches put forward faith. How have you seen faith impact this team this year?
Pre-rankings and things like that, heard a lot of things that we weren't going to be very good, not as good as we was last year. But I believe that our team just had to strive to become one of the best LCA teams around. And I believe that just our guys hold each other accountable, no matter off the field and on the field. So I believe that's how our faith has impacted us.
That's good. Hey, quick plug. If there's anybody that would consider coming to play football that's never played football, the coach has been bugging them in the hallway. How would you encourage somebody that maybe has been thinking a bit? They're going to be a junior, they're going to be a senior in the coming year, and they're just kind of on the fence about it. What would you encourage them?
I think that I would tell them that it's good to try things new and learn different experiences. God calls. If you get the calling from God, you need to answer. I believe, and I believe that if you're kind of worried about hitting guys or getting blocked or whatever, I just believe that you have coaches and players around you that will make you better. So I'd say definitely come out.
That's awesome. Hey, Bulldog Nation, see him down there on the team. Ty Doan, great having you. Thanks for being a part of this team, and can't wait to watch you play baseball. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Go Dogs, man.
Thank you.
That was your Oscar by and Law Bulldog of the Week, Ty Doan. What a great kid. I tell you, every time I see him, he walks up, shakes my hand, and one of the few guys kind of look me eye to eye just about. But yeah, great baseball player. But, I think it's Christian McCaffrey is probably one of the biggest professional proponents for play different sports. Right. Don't just do the year-round same thing all the time, because you develop different muscles, you develop different skills, and what a cool thing to see him come out and play.
Yeah, and our school's not a big school. I mean, we got 550 students in our high school. So if every athlete just specialized in just one sport, you're not utilizing the total athleticism that's in your building, So if you got a really good football player that can help the track team or help the baseball team, man, I encourage them to go out and compete. And I hope that it reciprocates, right. And so for Ty to be a baseball player and to say, man, I want to give this football thing a shot, and he's an athlete from another sport, but he can help contribute in another sport to make our program that much better. I think it's a great story, and I hope it impacts others that might have a choice to do something like that in the future.
Right. Coach, we got a ball game Friday at 7 p.m. City Stadium. Right. You enjoy coaching games over at that place?
Yeah, I enjoy
It's a beautiful stadium.
I enjoy coaching this group of kids, and any game of football is fun to coach, and especially one that has so much riding on it. It takes on a whole different perspective.
It does. It's going to be cold, but we want you to come hang out. You can get your tickets online at GoFan. Great way to do it. You walk up, your phone is your pass. Come in. They have concessions there. Maybe go to the stadium, world famous stadium, in one of my favorite restaurants in town, right across the road. But make it out. These boys, third round, class 3C, the Region 3C championship on the line against Heritage. You can't write a better script for football. It's a great time. Hey, pack the car with kids. We had a bus come up
That's right.
to Wilson. Let's bring a bunch of minivans filled with LCA fans, students. You guys be out there. You just bundle up. It's only a few hours, and it's going to be one of the greatest nights in football history.
I love the way you say, writing the script, because our seniors specifically, it's not a large class, only 10 kids as seniors. Our junior class is 24, 25. But we've been really challenging, and you get sentimental when you get to the end of a year, of a season, and we've been challenging our seniors to, what kind of story, what kind of legacy are they going to leave? And you can go way back to the beginning. I think Ty even referred to the fact that there were a lot of people thinking we weren't going to be that good this year and stuff like that, and so I hope our seniors can be proud of what our accomplishments we've made as a program this year, and how they have really excelled and overachieved. And so to be here at the same spot, all these previous teams that have done so well, I think it's a great testament to this senior class to taking on that challenge and meeting it head on. And I'm just so proud of those guys.
It's going to be a great night. I can't wait. I'm excited. By the time you guys see this, it'll be even closer. We're counting down the hours. LCA, Heritage, City Stadium, 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Coach, got anything else?
No, thank you so much.
All right. Go Dogs.